in the entertainment industry is getting phased out. That it's not more often that you get people saying, "Oh, theatre is a thing. Theatre is a thing. Let's go participate. Let's go watch." Or bigger developments in the theatre industry, you're losing to film. That's what they're saying. That indeed more people are getting comfortable watching film as opposed to theatre. Are we there, Winnie? And do you think the narration, all right, is essentially what is going to make theatre as it is stand?
Oh, I'm not sure this production will solve the problems of theatre in this country. Because as you say, one, yes, theatre has been losing out to film, and not just film, because now, given the situation we are in terms of taxation and the cost of living, it's not just the cost of living, but cost of doing business is very, very, I mean, it's having some very adverse effects on the work that's going on, especially in film. And we find that a lot of films are going into other countries and leaving this country. But what I wanted to say about theatre is that the model that you're using in this country is not sustainable. It's not making money. So you'll be able, for example, we're just discussing this, I can't remember when it was, a few days ago, but it's a discussion that has been going on for a long time. You put in money to put up a production. It will cost you, if we are generous, but you are also being conservative, how much will it cost you to put up a production with a bigger cast than Wana Siba? So we say about $1 million. That's on the lower side.
By the way.
That's on the lower side. So let's say even 1.5 and see where that gets us. But then you take your 1.5 and put it into your production. Then you rehearse generously, and again, this is again very limited. You rehearse for 3-4 weeks. That's like a whole month. Guys are coming in every day. This is work. This is the work that we do. So you're going in every day. So you have a group of people who are coming in every day for 1 month, who you're not paying for that period, because you can't afford it from your 1.5. So what happens? You're either going to have to cut down that thing, your time for rehearsals, for them to be doing other things to make money for that period. So you will only be able to rehearse them for some time. Then what happens is, once you're ready to put up your production, and again, you know that the quality is compromised because you're doing it for a shorter time. So you put up your production. You're putting up your production. The space that you'll get charges you obscene amounts of money, given what your budget, and you will take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because those are the times, unlike before, when you're likely to get an audience. That's the assumption that we've made. So you do your show on a Friday, that's one show. You do 2 shows on a Saturday. You do 2 shows on a Sunday. You spent 1.5. How much are you going to charge your audience to be able to recoup that money? You have 5 shows in a weekend. For example, the professional center has a seating capacity of 100 people. You have 5 shows. Do the math. How much are you going to charge your audience? So it doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make business sense the way we are doing it now. So we have to figure out, before we could run shows from, okay, you knew Monday was a very iffy thing, but you'd start your shows on Tuesday and run them up to the Sunday. And not just for the week, you'd run them longer. But now, given the space, given the competition that there is for that space, because there are more groups, there are more people doing theater, then it means you have to figure out, where else am I going to do this? At least that's what I feel we should be thinking. Because the competition is high, again, not just in terms of the number of groups that there are, but the number of forms of entertainment that there are in the city, in the rural areas, which sometimes are cheaper than what you're offering in theater. So we have to rethink how we do the business of theater. We also have to rethink the artistic side of what we're doing with theater. How do we make it more, not just more entertaining, how do we make it, first we have to think of the quality. Second, we have to think of, what are the stories we are telling? Are they relevant to people? Would I rather sit at home and watch a Niger movie? Because it makes more sense than come and watch come and watch Macbeth. Are we telling our people stories? Yeah. So you'll find that what has also happened in the process then is that people have taken there's a lot of comedy performances going on.
Yeah.
And what they've done with these comedies, and again, I don't want to say this very loudly, but we've taken comedies from other places and from other writers, and what we've done is made adaptations of them without technology, adaptations of them to the Kenyan situation, whether in Kiswahili, whether in vernacular, and so you find people going to a lot of that there's a clientele, for example, who say, "I'll go and watch a Kikuyu play." There was a time when there was also a lot of Luo plays going on. This has kind of gone down, but you'd find a huge crowd coming to watch those plays. Why? Because they're telling their story. It's a story I can relate to.
Yes.
I'm hearing names that I know. I'm seeing people that I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we need to tell our people stories. It's like somebody was saying, why would you want to do a Kenyan play?
Yes.
What does that even mean? What does Kenyan theater mean? Is it Kenyan theater or theater made in Kenya? So we have a whole array of things that we need to figure out for us to be able to compete with other forms that are being done. And even while we say theater is losing out,
yes,
we really haven't sat and had a conversation of how do we make it happen. Yes, there are people who are actually getting audiences, and we need to figure out what are they doing differently. What are they doing differently? The other day, somebody did not a Kikuyu play, a play that was done in Kikuyu before, but was eventually written in English, and they got an audience.
Yes.
But this is somebody who's been consistent. So consistency also. So that I know if I go to the National Theatre at the end of the month or every month, I know there'll be a play for me to watch. So it's not just, okay, what's happening where? Where do I find out?
So that I start looking for it.
Yes, where do I start looking?
Yes.
Why do I have to start looking when I know I can sit at home and watch movies, or I can sit at home and watch a TV series? So we have to upgrade. We really, really need to think through about how do we make this work? If this is the business we want to be in, if this is where my creativity counts, what does that mean? And how do I translate this for people to come and actually enjoy this and to understand? But there's also, again, theater as a form for us is a very Western concept, the way we do it. I went to do a play in Turkana, and so the audience is standing out there and watching. But then what we did is we worked with the community, and because there was a problem with some of the projects that were going on in the area.
Yes.
And so we took them and told them, tell the story. What is the problem? Help people understand what the problem is and how you're going to help them resolve it.
Yes.
Let them tell you where the problem is, whether you're lying about what the problem is. And so when they started doing it, the old women, the old men stood by. And there was a scene where there was a guy, because one of the problems was receiving money from this social protection fee, where the elderly get their funds. And so there was a problem because the elderly people didn't know how to access their money. Problem with IDs, problem with fingerprints, problem with the agents. So now when an agent came into the scene and was sitting there giving out money to the elderly came and joined the queue. And I'm thinking, okay, this is what it's all about. You're telling their story. You're talking about what is happening to them. And so you are including them in the story in terms of looking at how do we resolve this. But that's a whole different genre where people say, community theater is not theater. Theater is what you do on stage. So the issues, we have issues here.
You got to figure them out.
We have to figure them out. So it's more complex than we'd like to think.
Yes.
But it's not unresolvable. It's not impossible. We just need to talk. We need to sit down and rethink.
Pretty much.
And the